From the sidelines to your ears, it's the BenchWarmers Podcast, where sports meets humor. I'm your host, Zach, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, as always, Jordan.
What's
Jordan,
going
how you
on,
doing?
man? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. It's been a minute since we've got our cast going again. Sorry, everybody, if you're looking forward to it on Tuesdays. It's just been hectic lately for the both of us, and we haven't really had the time to do 2 episodes a week, and we hope to get back into doing that, but we will keep you guys updated on our social medias.
Yeah, definitely for sure, man. It's just been crazy all around, and but anyways, man, glad to be back, and you know, I mean, I know we talked about it before the show, but we got not a lot to talk about, but quite the episode for you guys, and I'm excited to get into this stuff, Zach. So, what do we got on the menu today?
I think we got a little bit of WWE, just because of the road to WrestleMania. I know if people that have been watching and listening, we kind of get on our tangents about WWE, and we talk a lot about it, and we're going to try to kind of reel ourselves in and stay to the focus on the topic at hand. Not that we've gotten any complaints about it or anything like that, but us as
Yeah,
as the news progresses and stuff like that, we need to try to reel ourselves in. So we're going to talk about WWE, a little bit about Raw. It's not going to be very much. We're going to talk about opening day for the MLB a little bit, and then some NFL news and just some chatterings that we've heard. We don't know if it's actually true or anything like that. But we're going to tell you it's just some things that we've seen online or heard through the grapevine. So with that, Jordan, why don't you get us started on Raw? Take us through what happened.
All right, yeah. So, March 24th episode of Raw. It was in Glasgow, Scotland, the home of Drew McIntyre. And honestly, if you missed the show, congratulations. I wasn't one of those people who did. I felt for real, man. I mean, I know that Zach and I sound like a broken record when we dog on Raw and SmackDown, but it's actually the truth, man. This sucks. I mean, so Raw started off with the John Cena and Cody Rhodes promo, like it always did for the last. This is actually week number 2. Cena went into a tangent about the fans. He actually brought up the fact that he dissed that little kid that was wearing the John Cena shirt, and I thought that was cool. Basically, the same thing as he said was last week. Getting into the fan. I really like this promo for Cena. It's where we're able to unpack a lot from him. And the only thing that I don't like is the fact that we have a SmackDown champion and a SmackDown contender, possibly, because we don't know where Cena is actually at. They never really declared him to be on Raw. They never really declared him to be on SmackDown. He's just one of those floater guys, I guess. But call me old-fashioned, dude, but I like it when it was SmackDown and their champions and Raw and their champions. I feel like they're really sweeping Gunther in that Jey Uso match. No matter what we feel about it, Gunther is still the champion, and that is his show, and he deserves all of that prime time spotlight.
Definitely does. I mean, we talked about it the last episode on how we kind of dislike what they're doing, and with the point of John, I think because he signed a legend contract, I think he can be on either show. I don't think he can be. I don't think he in the contract that they have to be saddled down.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's a great point. But anyways, just as the promo goes on, Cody Rhodes comes out, and before Cody Rhodes comes out, John Cena talks about bringing back the Spinner Championship, and I don't like that. I don't want that. If we're gonna, change the belt, let's get something new. I agree with Bret Hart that this WWE Championship and the ones before absolutely suck. I just don't like the look, dude. That's just my opinion. I think that freaking belt is ugly, and I definitely don't want the spinner belt back. He also talked about Ric Flair too, and he said that he's basically gonna erase Ric Flair. By I seen that, Zach. I just I don't know, man. Like that promo
I
was
like
cool.
how he brought up Ric Flair though,
Yeah,
because we've been talking about that for the last 2 weeks. Like, is Ric Flair going to be? Is Ric Flair going to get involved in this match? Because it's not a secret to anybody that Ric Flair wants to get back into wrestling.
yeah.
Which, who knows why, but it kind of builds to that. Is he going to show up at WrestleMania? And honestly, I think Ric Flair will get a big pop because he
Yeah.
hasn't been on he hasn't been on WWE in a long time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So having the Nature Boy show up and he's going to be in his robe and woo, it's going to be a huge pop, and it'll be cool to see him at WrestleMania and to see him. I don't want to see him get like mixed up in a fight or nothing like that, but
Right.
to see him try and distract John Cena would be cool to see. And John bringing that up in a promo kind of gives us maybe a little hoping of that,
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right with everything too with the WWE Championship belt. I haven't liked it since they turned it into the Universal Championship when they started this big W logo.
Mm-hmm.
They need something different, I
Yeah,
think.
I agree. So real quick on the title, are we for the Winged Eagle belt coming back?
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing it come back, but
Like a modern, I mean,
like
like a modernized Winged
like a
Eagle.
modernized one like they did with the World Heavyweight
Yeah,
Championship.
yeah.
I really like the design of the World Heavyweight
Me too.
Championship.
Me too.
They kind of brought back the big belt feel on that. And you could also say, like, especially what Bret Hart said, like, kind of, if all the other ones since this have kind of sucked. So do you really want to go back to that? I don't know. It just all depends. I do want them to get rid of the big W though. It's
Yeah, I
not
don't
good.
like that at all. But so as the promo goes on, 12 minutes in to John Cena talking shit to the crowd, Cody Rhodes comes out, and dude, one thing I noticed about Rhodes real quick is his facial movements. I don't know if you noticed that. It's kind of like The Rock, and I know you can't see me right now, but he'll do shit like raise his eyebrows and like remember how The Rock was when Goldberg came out, like the tongue action and stuff like that. I just think that stuff is weird. Cut it out. I dude, for real, cut that shit out, dude. I mean, Cody Rhodes is
No,
a
he's
stud.
just trying to act the character. He's just trying to, he's trying to
Yeah, I
play to the
get it.
crowd
I get it.
and all that other
He's
stuff.
showing he's showing emotion, but it's like and some of it is like kind of like weird. But I like you said, he's trying to play the character, and I get it. We did get a lot more than we got last week from these two in a promo. And I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was nice, but it's also repetitive, and I don't want that spinner belt to come back. I hope that was just like a diversion, like to get us to start talking about this, and he hits us with something else.
Right.
But yeah, so that was that. The Usos versus A-Town Down Under, and when I seen this, dude, I was so pumped. The notes I got on this, dude, is it's nice to finally see the Usos back together.
Yep.
It
is.
I really like
They
that.
they were one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Yeah.
I think just behind the New Day. I mean, people can argue whichever way they want. Usos, the New Day. I think the New Day is a much better tag team.
That's a hot
But
debate.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's just because I like the New Day characters better.
I do too. I think that the New Day. I mean, no disrespect to the Usos, they're very entertaining. But when it comes to entertainment and in-ring talent, you can't get better than Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston.
Right.
Those, you
No,
know,
you can't.
those two just brought it out from regular, regular Raws, live events, PLEs. No matter what it was, the New Day brought the best out of everybody. They were
Oh, they
fan
definitely
favorite.
did.
Remember the WrestleManias where they came out of the Budio box, or their stuff with The Rock when The Rock says that they were wearing llama penises, yeah, stuff.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. I bought a box of Bootios
Oh,
before,
so did I. From
and I got the shirt and shit for it.
I bought the
And
box
they
of
weren't
Budios.
bad. They weren't bad.
No, they're not, dude. FYE is where I got mine, I believe.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
where I got it too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, I also got this, dude, because when I watched that match and I seen how well, and I know, like you said, the Usos are one of the greatest tag teams of all time. But in this match, Jay has really proven to everybody why we all are saying that he should just stick to the tag team. Because
Well, yeah, because they haven't tagged together in 2 years, so you
Yeah.
would think that there would be a little bit of chemistry rust there
Yeah.
between the two,
Yep.
And from what I understand, there was no rust there.
No.
The chemistry was off the charts.
Off the charts. I mean, and then when they finished with the 1D, one and done,
Yep.
it not only brought back nostalgia for me, but like I said, it also proved to me that Jey Uso, and this could go different ways. I mean, you guys will tell us in the comments, if you will, how you feel about it. But as for now, I really think that Jey Uso is really proven to everybody that he's a really good tag team guy, and that's okay. That really is okay. If he loses, and Zach, I know we say this a lot, but I really need Jey Uso to lose at WrestleMania 41.
Yeah,
like really bad.
I do too, because that would really bum me out, mostly because I'm real high on Gunther.
Me too, and
Oh.
I understand. Like the kids are behind Jay, and I mean, I know you can't see, but I got the arm sleeves from when I was in Buffalo. I got the Yeet arm sleeves as collectors. I mean, I like the gimmick, but I don't like the gimmick as a main eventer, dude. I'm going to be honest. I really don't, and I believe that we made that really clear. But anyways, Lyra Valkyria, the women's intercontinental champion, she beats Raquel, but she didn't beat her clean, dude. She beat her with a roll up. Liv obviously got involved in that.
Yep.
That wasn't too bad of a match. And then we got that Rhea Ripley thing, dude.
Yeah, that I don't understand what they're doing. If they're going to lead it up to a triple threat match between the three of them, why give Rhea Ripley a shot at the title next Monday? I don't understand. And Bianca being a special guest referee, none of it makes sense.
Dude, I think this, man. How does EO feel about this? Because the spotlight right now is set on Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, and the women's world champion is nowhere to be found. And even in that little segment, like it started with Rhea and Bianca fist fighting, and then here comes EO standing in the ring. She's the champion.
Yep.
What is going on here? It goes back to the fact that, like I said before, like I understand Triple H has a lot on his plate, but brother, watch your fucking producers, man.
Right.
I know
Right.
he's not in control of every match, so we can't blame him for every single match. You got to look at guys like what's his name, Brother Love. I forget his name. Bruce Pritchard.
Yep.
Bruce Pritchard, Bubba Dudley, Shane Helms, all those guys that are producing. Michael P. Hayes. We need better shit, and I understand like some of these things are fillers, but we're talking about your main women's world heavyweight championship here, and we're
Right.
also talking about the road to WrestleMania. We need more. We need more from this. I got that as a C minus on my paper. I didn't really care for that, dude, and I honestly, like you, and probably like many others, are confused on where this is going. And you can go back and look. I thought that this was going to be a triple threat. I mean, they're dropping Easter eggs on it. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I guess we're going to have to wait find out next Monday. But as for now, dude, this really just sucks.
I think what's going to happen, just from, the title match next week and then Bianca being the special guest referee, Bianca screws Rhea over somehow, and then that's how they turn it into a triple threat match. I mean, it almost seems like that's the way they're going with it. Maybe I'm wrong, but
No, I think you're right.
I mean, that's the only thing I could see. There's no way they're gonna have Io drop the title
No.
right before WrestleMania.
Right. And if they do,
So
it's going to be like a Jey Uso thing. They're going to catch a lot of slack. Then Triple H is going to hop on the podium and talk the same thing that he always does, like they did at WrestleMania 39. Of we had to go this direction, and it's a shock factor, and this. No, cut that shit the fuck out, man. Come on, let's go.
right. No, that's my prediction for this.
Yeah.
Bianca screws over Rhea, and then it's a triple threat match.
Absolutely. And that ties up Raw. Now we also had some news on the NCAA Division I Finals. Gable Stevenson, he loses to Wyatt Hendrickson. And honestly, dude, real quick on this, I just wanted to mention this because I am interested in this. My hat is Ohio State, and I think I love the Ohio State Buckeyes wrestling team as of right now. But Gable Stevenson, he's not on the Ohio State roster. He got taken down for the first time by Hendrickson. And, dude, this guy is just all over the place. I honestly, he will go down as one of the greatest amateur wrestlers of all time. I think that this guy's just confused on what he wants to do. I think he should just go straight into the UFC or the PFL, or maybe get into some jiu-jitsu tournaments or something like that. This guy has signed to the Buffalo Bills, did nothing. He played defensive tackle. He wrestled in NXT, debuted against Baron Corbin at the Great American Bash. After that, dude, he didn't wrestle at all. And then, WWE releases him. And then after he was released, that's when he signed with the Bills. He only appeared in 2 preseason games. And then after, like the day after, he was on some interview show, dude, and he says that a few NFL teams are interested in signing him. Only 2 preseason games. And this is going to segue into the NFL for us. Zach, what do you think about this guy? Because I know you know who he is.
I kind of zoned out for a minute. Who is it again?
Gable Stevenson.
Gable Stevenson.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that was signed to it's kind of like the NIL for WWE. I can't remember what that was called, but he was in one of those. Like I said, he.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was on. He was on Raw for a hot second, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was there for a
just
second.
NXT.
No, you were right. He was on Raw. But he didn't wrestle an actual match there. I think he just did a segment, and that was that. And they sent him down to NXT. He actually, like I said, he debuted against Baron Corbin at the Great American Bash. I believe he won that. But after that, he didn't wrestle another match. They released him. Then after WWE released him, he signed with the Buffalo Bills, and he only played 2 preseason games. After the match against Wyatt Hendrickson, the next day he was on an interview. And he said that 2 NFL teams, or he said a few NFL teams are interested in him, and that's from the Pat McAfee show itself.
I mean, he was in the NFL once. It didn't work out. Maybe he should just stick to NCAA wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
you've done so many things, and I'm looking at an interview he did. He's like, I've been boxing, I've been putting on the gloves, doing jiu-jitsu classes, trying ready for MMA career, and right after I stepped off the mat, and all this in some new NFL teams, and he's got too many things in one basket. I think he needs to stick to what gave him his fame, which is now this NCAA title. Maybe he should just stick to actual wrestling.
Right, and he, like I said, dude, he surrendered his first takedown in that match against Wyatt Hendrickson. Why wouldn't you stick with what brought, like Zach said, stick to what brought you to the fucking dance, dude?
Right.
It's either
Right.
you go with the NCAA Division I and win, like Zach said, win the belt, or you take your talents and you go to the UFC or PFL or one championship and you do that. I mean,
Yep.
in the world of mixed martial arts today, wrestling and jiu-jitsu are starting to take over. You got your striking guys, Sean O'Malley. Who else is there? I'm drawing a blank on him. Ilya Taporia.
Right.
And then you got obviously the Dagestanis and Umar Nurmagomedov and Islam Makhachev and stuff like that. I think that Gable Stevenson would really do well in the UFC. I think that I agree with you, Zach. I think that this guy he's done way too much. Way too much. I mean, the WWE was a close third for him, but for the most part, NCAA, the UFC, pick one. Come on. Let's go,
Right.
Gable. Let's get on the road. But so I just wanted to bring that up. The guy's amazing. He's really amazing. You look at his stats, and to some points, I don't think this guy has that big of an ego. I think that this guy is just confused on what he wants to do. Because if you pay attention to the interviews, like I said, he said he has a few NFL teams interested in him. He's got Endeavor, which consists of the WWE and the UFC, which I'm assuming he's in talks with the UFC about something. Because the UFC is even holding like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments and stuff like that. You can get that on Fight Pass on ESPN Plus, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. So there's multiple ways that this guy can go. I think that this guy's really talented. He's down to earth, and he's an athlete. There's no such thing as being cocky when you're an athlete and you're that damn good.
Right. And he had his break in WWE, tried it, and it didn't work out. He had his break in the NFL, it didn't work out, and now he found something that works.
Yeah.
So, let's just stick with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No more NFL things. And speaking of NFL, it's a good segue into what Zach wants to talk about.
Well, let's see. There's a couple of different things that kind of went on this week. We're going to get into one that you're not very fond of, and we talked about it last week.
I almost put everything in here, dude.
It actually happened. We're going to save that. But what about Russell Wilson to the Giants? So you got their quarterback room is now Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
Is this the worst quarterback room in football right now?
Yes. Yes, that's a really hard yes, dude. Like, this is the worst. And by the way, like, you got to throw the Cleveland Browns in there and keep that in mind as well. But no, you're absolutely right, dude. Hit the nail right on the head. The Giants.
Maybe they're a step above the Cleveland Browns. I'd give them that because they do have a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Russell Wilson, which, take it with a grain of salt. He's not the same Russell Wilson he was when he played for the Seahawks.
Yep. We've seen that in Pittsburgh. We've seen that in Denver. And by the way, this is not a good move for the Giants, dude. This is not a good move.
No, probably not. No.
Especially when, like, their biggest need, dude, is offensive line. Quarterback and offensive line. And then they have the whole defense issue. But for Russell Wilson, who plays quarterback, like, the offensive line is the biggest thing. I mean, going to my Patriots real quick, and I know we'll get into that. But, the comparison is like, wow, like, it's day and night. Because over there in New England, they're filling these holes quick so that when they get to the draft, boom, it's over with. We pick up what we need. We had draft capital, just like the Giants. The Giants are one pick above us at number 3. We're number 4. But as far as free agency goes, like, the New England Patriots, I would go on a hill and say that they won free agency with all their pickups, even though I do not like the Stefon Diggs thing, and we'll get into that.
We're not there yet.
I know, that's what I said. We'll get into that later, but the New England Patriots have won free agency. Now, the Giants, on the other hand, they're not doing anything, and they haven't been doing anything, dude.
No, to be honest, they would have been better off going after Cooper Rush.
Yeah, Cooper.
I mean, Cooper Rush has shown time and time again like that he can start a game and he can win games.
And he had so many haters. Remember this. Remember, Zach. They said that Cooper Rush was lightning in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And look what happened to him. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
And now he signed a decent deal with the Ravens.
Exactly. So the Giants,
And
man, picking up Russell Wilson is not the way to go. I mean, okay, so you pick up Russell Wilson and you go and try and draft Shador. So he has somebody to learn from.
Right. Then but the problem is, you got an old Russell Wilson,
Jameis
right? Who can't play right now. Not saying he can't play, but he's not at his prime, obviously.
No, you hit the nail on the head, dude. He's
You
not the same.
And you got Jameis Winston, which I like Jameis Winston. I've liked him since he came into the league, more or less because of his character, and he's not a bad quarterback. Is he the best? No, far from it. But you add him into this because he's not Russell Wilson in his prime, and I would say he's actually better than Russell Wilson right now, in my opinion. And then you have Danny DeVito, who is hot garbage. He maybe won a few games, but they were nothing special. So you bring in Shador, who's he going to learn from?
Exactly. That's my point. Like, okay, so Russell Wilson has what, 2 Super Bowls? Or 1?
I want to say 2. He's only got 1.
It's either 2 or 1. I think he's got 2. While I'm going on, can you please fact check that?
I'm looking that up.
Okay, thank you. So, anyways, Russell Wilson is he's a Super Bowl champion nonetheless. He's got the skills. He's a 2-sport athlete. Played baseball, played football. But we're talking about Russell Wilson today, dude. And Russell Wilson today is just not that damn good.
No, he's not.
And if you're the Giants, like the Pittsburgh Steelers really should have just picked him back up, because the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers is on fire. I think Aaron Rodgers is just going to retire. That's a whole different can of worms. But the Steelers really should have stuck with Russell Wilson. The Giants should have never picked him up. This is probably the worst decision that the Giants could make right now, is to pick him up.
Probably.
And I correct me if I'm wrong. He did sign for quite a penny, didn't he?
Yeah, actually.
I think it's like 20-something mil for 1 year.
1 year, $21 million, including $10.5 million guaranteed.
Yeah, that's dude, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's a lot for an older quarterback who can't really play. And speaking of Russell Wilson, I think you thought it was 2, but remember there was the debacle with them passing it.
Oh yeah, the 1 yard line. Yep.
Yeah, the 1 yard line when you have Marshawn Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
You have beast mode. You should probably run it. But they did win. They won. What Super Bowl would have 24 or in 2014 would have been? But that one was against Denver. They blew out Denver, so he's won 1 Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, nonetheless, the guy's a Super Bowl champion, and yeah, he could learn. Shador could learn from him, but I got Shador's I said what I said about him. I think that he's not going to be like a top 5, but if he does end up in New York, do you really want him to learn from Russell Wilson at this point? The guy who everybody thought was going to ball out in Denver with Sean Payton. By the way, Sean Payton is a Hall of Famer. Should be a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. And he still couldn't get the job done. He goes to Pittsburgh with another future Hall of Fame coach. Still couldn't get the job done. Why is the Giants paying this guy $21 million?
I think what ruined Russell Wilson's career is Bronco Country. Let's ride. I lose my shit all the time. That's what ruined his career.
Yeah, he was a little bit too. What would you say? Overzealous?
Overzealous, yeah. A little bit. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I'd rather Shador learn under Jameis Winston.
I was just gonna say.
To be honest, because so right now in Russell Wilson's career, he is a pocket passer.
Yeah.
He is not the runner that he used to be.
Yeah, he's not the dual threat like he used to be.
No. And Jameis Winston is still kind of on the younger side,
Yeah.
right? He can still move. He's still mobile. He can
Mm-hmm.
still throw on the run. So why not have him learn under somebody like that? Because we know, the Giants are dumb enough to sign Russell Wilson. They're going to start him.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to start him because Danny DeVito, he's not going to start. And then, or not Danny DeVito, is his name Danny DeVito? Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I
Well, no.
I'm
Tommy. Tommy.
Tommy
You're
DeVito. I'm
thinking of.
thinking of the actor.
Yeah.
The actor Danny. Yeah.
By the way,
But no,
Danny DeVito is the best Penguin of all time. I don't want to get into this fucking debate. Danny DeVito is the best Penguin of all time. Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anyway, well, people were calling him Danny DeVito when he was playing, but Tommy DeVito is a nobody. You wouldn't want Shador to learn under him.
No.
And like I said before, Russell is a pocket passer. He is not mobile like Shador is. So Jameis Winston is your starter, I think, and that's the guy who should mentor him, not Russell Wilson.
Right.
Russell Wilson should be your grossly overpaid second string.
Right. Shador.
But that ain't gonna happen.
Right. Shador coming into the league. The dude's below average in stature and arm talent compared to actual, day one starters. He plays the game really well, and he takes care of the football. That's completely the opposite of what Russell Wilson is doing right now.
Oh yeah.
You look back, like the memes that are on the internet of him in Pittsburgh throwing that interception to I can't remember his name in Baltimore, but he did, and it was a pick six. And like I said, the stuff in Denver, I really would rather Shador learn under Jameis Winston, kind of like how Drake May did with what's his name? You remember? Oh man, I can't. He's the other quarterback.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The
I don't
journeyman.
pay attention. I don't pay attention to fucking
Yeah.
Patriots.
But anyways, so it's the same thing, and I'd rather Shador learn under Jameis than Russell Wilson.
So
yeah.
we'll end it there with the whole Russell Wilson thing. We think it's a train wreck up there in New York. So let's.
Do you want to dive into that Dallas news real quick?
Well, yeah, we can get into that real quick. So I've seen some rumblings, and I don't know if it's true. I don't have any sources. These are just things that I've seen, and it could be just a meme.
Mm-hmm.
But I have seen some rumblings of Cleveland in talks with Dallas about trading for Dak Prescott. What do you think of that?
So with Dak Prescott, it's hard. I'll be the one to say that Dak Prescott and Tony Romo are the same person, and I say that because these guys will give you 4,500 plus yards in the regular season, and when it comes to the playoffs, Zach, you know this as a Cowboys fan. Sorry to break your heart, but they just can't get the job done in the postseason.
No, they can't. They can't, and I understand that. And honestly, I just looked this up. I guess it was shut down. The trade rumors are shut down. It's not.
But were they in talks at all?
I don't know. That's just what has been. That's just what I've seen. I don't know any credible sources or anything like that.
But in a hypothetical way here, Dak Prescott could be marketed, especially for somebody within. I mean, the Patriots ain't going to take it. They just got Drake May. But as far as like Tennessee and Cleveland go, well, first, can Cleveland afford him?
Yeah, I don't know what their cap salary is like right now.
Yeah, neither do I. But I believe that they restructured Deshaun Watson, so that that frees up some money. But Dak Prescott is a lot better than Deshaun Watson, like 10 times better than Deshaun Watson.
Maybe now.
Yeah.
I don't think he was better than Deshaun Watson when Deshaun was in Houston.
Not Houston, Texans, Deshaun. Right now, Cleveland Brown, Deshaun Watson. I think that.
Oh yeah.
Dak Prescott's 10 times better than him, and he's proven it day in and day out. Now this injury is kind of scary, so you gotta add all that in. But if Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys are shopping around Dak Prescott, I would really look at, trading up at least to the top 5 to get somebody. And if not, dude, you can always gain capital. A first of next year and a few seconds and a couple of thirds. Maybe even like if who's available as a wide receiver in Cleveland? Do you know? Like any good
Um,
ones?
Amari, but I don't even
No,
think he got signed yet, did he?
yeah, no,
Or did he
he didn't get
re-sign?
signed. No, he didn't get signed, and I don't think Miles Garrett would be available.
Well, no,
So
he just signed that 4-year
yeah,
deal.
so it'd be kind of hard to throw a player in there for that trade. But as far as like trading up, I think that Dak Prescott is definitely worth at least maybe this year's first, next year's first, and then maybe a second and a third, and fourth. I don't know. I really don't know. I would be shopping around. I'd be just curious to see what's out there.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with that.
Who would you who now if you're the Cowboys, right, and you trade up, say you do trade up to that number 2 pick, and you're on the clock. Who are you taking?
I'm not taking a quarterback.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no, I mean, other than, I mean, if you trade him to Tennessee, that's one thing because you'll get Cam Ward. But as
Right.
Cam Ward's off the board already, so I mean, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter,
I think I'd go Abdul Carter. Then
absolutely.
you have the other side with Micah.
And then that builds up that Dallas defense, and then the second round you're able to pick up a national champion in Will Howard from Ohio State, Dylan
Yep.
Gabriel from Oregon, Jalen Milroe from Alabama. Those are just a few of
And
them.
if you remember, Dak was a 4th-round pick.
Oh
So
yeah.
you could even get a decent quarterback in later rounds. So
Oh yeah.
quarterback I'm not worried about. I'm honestly thinking this is a tank year for the Cowboys anyway.
What do you think the record is?
Our record was not good this year. So, I mean, I think it was still a winning record.
Yeah.
But
Where are they? 12, right? Yep. 7 and 10.
oh, so it wasn't a winning record. But I'd say maybe around the same, if not worse,
Yeah, for sure.
to be honest. And I honestly, I've seen, again, rumors, no credits to any sources or anything like that, that if they, because of this Schottenheimer hire, of head coach and all this other things, that Jerry Jones is tanking to get Archie Manning
You think so?
next draft. That's what rumors I've seen. I don't know. I have no credibility on that.
Right.
But rumors just from Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all that other stuff that maybe they tank this year to get Archie Manning next year.
And that wouldn't be a bad idea. Arch Manning.
No, honestly, I mean, look at the Manning family.
Yeah.
You have multiple Super Bowls between just the two brothers. So you can't
Exactly.
tell me that Archie wouldn't be the same.
Exactly. He has that mentality, and he's playing really good football in Texas. I mean,
Yep.
but the only problem is right now he's a freshman, and
Yeah,
even
but
though
he
he's
could
a
enter the
freshman-
draft early.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. That the only downside is he's a freshman now. It's kind of early to tell, but again, he's a Manning, and that's just instilled. That's in his bloodline to compete, and like you said, with Peyton and Eli, and you can even go as far back as Archie. Archie Manning played for the Saints, before my time, before Zach's time, and he was decent. And then his sons come in, Eli and Peyton, and they tear it up, win Super Bowls. I expect the same thing for Archie, and if he ends up in Dallas, that's a huge pickup. That's a huge pickup.
Oh yeah.
And even if they
Yeah.
still have, okay, so say that they tank, they still have Dak. I would be all right with Dak. Archie training under Dak. Dak
Oh
is a
yeah,
really good quarterback.
I'd be okay with that. But it'll end up being another Tony Romo thing. Tony was the starter. He started going downhill. They brought Dak in. Halfway through the season, Tony gets benched.
Yeah.
And that's the Dallas way to go because they did that with who was the quarterback before Tony Romo? He was with the Patriots. Was that
Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe? Drew Bledsoe got hurt.
Yep. Tom Brady came in.
No, well, that
Oh, in
happened up
Dallas.
there
Sorry.
too. Yeah, that happened up there too.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Drew
Okay.
Bledsoe got benched for Tom Brady, or did he get hurt?
No,
One of the
yeah,
two.
he got hurt. We had a really good record, and then Bledsoe gets hurt. Brady comes in, and the rest is history.
Right, and then Bledsoe goes to Dallas.
Yep.
Gets hurt. Tony Romo comes in. The rest is history.
Yep. And then
You
Bledsoe
know,
goes to Buffalo and ends his career in Buffalo.
right. So, and that's just the Dallas thing to do. We'll put the next guy in, and we don't know how he's going to be, but we'll put him in.
So,
And then he's going to be the starter.
yeah.
So,
And the biggest needs that Dallas has is wide receiver. Obviously they got to address the running back decision. Cornerback, linebacker, and defensive line. Outside of CD Lamb, the Cowboys don't have a consistent threat at wide receiver. So
no, they don't. They don't.
well,
Not at all.
in this draft, they have the number 12 pick. Where do you think they go?
I honestly wouldn't be upset with a running back. I mean, our running backs right now are okay. What we picked up from free agency, but I'd be okay with them getting a running back. I don't know if they're going to get like an Ashton Genty.
Oh, from Boise, yeah, that guy's a stud.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get him, but there's a couple other running backs that are pretty good. Names are kind of eluding me right now.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
as far as wide receiver, I think they could go with Matthew Golden from Texas. They could go with Amika Ibuka from Ohio State. Some of these guys are just going to drop, especially with the talent of Tedorora McMillan and Luther Burden, guys like that, Travis Hunter. I honestly say that because it's kind of hard, dude. Because I know you make the jokes about Jerry being all in, but I really think that the best way for them to go is to, get Dak Prescott another weapon, and then after that in the second round, because in the second round you could still go with the edge rusher from what's his name from Boston College. I forget his name, dude. Donovan Ezekoroku. I butchered his name, but he's from Boston College. He stands 6'2", 247 pounds. The dude's a monster. He's only getting better, dude. From 2022 to 2024, he's increasing. He had a bad year, not a bad year. He graded 78 in 2023 and 90 in 2024. 17th. He's a 16th best player coming into the draft, by the way. So they can go many ways with this. I think that what they really should do is focus on wide receiver, so they get Dak Prescott some help. Maybe get some, because Travis, what's his name? Travis Frederick, right? Didn't he retire?
Yeah, he was the center.
Yeah, and then didn't you guys lose the tackle too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Travis Fredericks retired a long time ago.
Yeah, well, who am I thinking of, man?
You're thinking of Zach Martin.
Yeah, Zach Martin. He's the one who just recently retired. So I would go, because in this draft, no matter what anybody says, in this draft, it is an offensive line and wide receiver heavy, and edge rushers, offensive line, and you got a few good quarterbacks coming in. There's depth in these positions for the draft. There's many ways that Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys could go. Like I said, wide receiver, running back, cornerback, linebacker, and they got to do something with that defensive line to help out Micah Parsons, because the dude's a star. This dude makes an impact on the defense. And as far as like defensive backs go, you got Stefon Diggs. They need some type of help, over there on the other side. both sides of the ball, just like the Patriots, is that the Dallas Cowboys are a lot more set than the Patriots are, or the Jets or the Giants. That's what separates them is they got the tools. They're just missing the pieces. You know what I'm saying?
The problem is we have the Washington Commanders who are on a roll,
Yeah.
and we also have the defending Super Bowl champions in our division. So we have a big uphill battle like usual. I did look up some mock draft things, and a lot of them are saying that Dallas will draft Tetiara McLean out of Arizona, wide receiver.
Oh, Tedero or
Or
McMillan.
McMillan, yeah. A lot of them are saying they'll draft him.
He's the third best player in the as far as the draft goes. It goes Travis Hunter number 1, Abdul Carter number 2, and then Tedero or McMillan out of Arizona at number 3.
Now, does he make it down to number 12 or 14, whatever Dallas is?
Well, with this latest pickup of Russell Wilson and the Giants, and then the Cleveland Browns, everything from the second pick on down is scrambled at this point. We know that the Tennessee Titans are taking Cam Ward out of Miami. Abdul Carter could go to the Browns, or he could go to the Giants. It really depends on Cleveland and the Giants at this point, because if the Giants take Shedeur Sanders, then Tedero McMillan falls down to the Patriots, and so does Abdul Carter. And New England's at a point right now with all their free agency pickups, and we'll get into that towards the end of the show. The work that they did in the offseason, they're now in a position where they can take the best available player, whether it be Tedero McMillan or Abdul Carter or Ashton Genty from Boise. So it really depends on all of that from the second pick down to the fourth pick. And then, with the Dallas Cowboys picking at number 12, you got to think, because you got Jacksonville there before you guys. 49ers, Bears, Saints, Panthers, the Jets, the Raiders, Jacksonville, and the New England Patriots at number 4. So, Jacksonville, they're going to need a wide receiver. The Raiders need a quarterback. The Jets just got Justin Fields, so they'll probably give him either a weapon or they'll go, defense. Carolina, they need offensive line, so they're probably going to take Will Campbell at number 8. And the Saints, they're probably either going to take, a wide receiver or maybe some help on the defense side of the ball. The Bears, they're going to take a wide receiver most likely. The 49ers, that's a debate. And then you got Dallas. So Tedero or McMillan could fall down to that number 12 pick. I just don't know if it's possible.
I don't see it happening, because what you just said, there's a lot of teams that need wide receivers, and he's the best wide receiver in the draft. He goes early, I think.
Yeah.
There's
Luther
also
Burden.
talks. What's that?
Luther Burden, though, he's the 14th best player in the draft. The only problem with that dude is he's 5'11" and he weighs 208 pounds.
Yeah, we don't need another slot receiver. We have the slot locked up with CeeDee Lamb.
Right, and that falls down to Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State. The guy's 6'1", 205 pounds. He doesn't have the best grades for 2024 or 2023. At 2022, 83.1, 23, 72.9, and 24, 79.5. The national championship kind of means something, and it kind of doesn't in the transition to the NFL. Because there's just a huge difference between the pros and college, but nonetheless, Emeka Egbuka is available, and for the Cowboys, I really think that they really should take a wide receiver with this first round pick.
Well, they should, and I don't think that's going to happen, because there's also other mock drafts that I've seen that they take Ashton Genty.
And how would you feel about that pick?
I don't know. Do we really need a fourth running back? I don't. I'd be okay with it, I guess. He's the number 5 player in the draft right now. But high numbers don't always mean production.
Right. Exactly.
So it depends.
With
our offensive line being the way it is.
Yep.
It's not going to be it's not going to be a cut and dry, oh, he's going to be the greatest thing since Zeke Elliott.
Right.
You know, you just can't have that because Zeke had the best line in football the whole time he was with Dallas.
Exactly. Dude.
So do you take a phenomenal running back like Ashton Genty and he tanks because we don't have the O-line?
Yeah.
I'd rather not see that, but Jerry Jones is dumb enough to do that. So
absolutely. I mean, with Ashton Genty though, dude, he's got quick feet. In a one-on-one situation, he has rarely been tackled. So he's got that, dude. He's got incredible strength. He has the ability to make defenders miss. That's the big thing, dude. I did watch some stuff on him, and when I first seen that, and then I've looked some stuff up on him, and a lot of people are calling him like kind of reminiscent of Alvin Kamara. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking of Alvin Kamara, I heard that he's leaving New Orleans, but that's neither here nor there. The only thing that I got that's negative on Ashton Genty is he fumbled the ball 9 times in the last 2 seasons. And so that the reason why I bring that up is to your point about the offensive line, man. Without an offensive line and somebody like this who needs to improve this ball security, I do not think that's going to be a good fit for the Dallas Cowboys until they get that offensive line fixed.
Oh, no, you're completely right about that. And honestly, I wouldn't be upset if they took like a tackle to replace Zach Martin when you got Will Campbell, who's the number 6. Yeah, and he's a tackle.
Right.
So I'd be okay with them taking a first-round tackle or, an offensive line piece.
Right, for sure. So that would be the Dallas Cowboys. Now, because we're at 51 here, so the New England Patriots, dude.
I really want to get into this with you because I heard your take on it when it happened because I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to get you fired up.
Oh, man, dude. So with this pick with Stefon Diggs, dude, I know I don't have a source on this, and I haven't heard anything about this, but I believe that the only reason why this guy signed with us is because we're number 1 in salary and we're going to give him the most money. Can you bring up the
definitely
salary
overpaid.
What is it?
Overpaid.
61 million?
No, man. 3-year, $69 million deal, including a $26 million guaranteed.
Yeah, and for what? What was his production like in in Houston? Tank Dell was running the show there. He had good. Stefon Diggs had good numbers, right?
Diggs was hurt.
Exactly. So
he got hurt. I want to say in October when I seen it. Yeah, he tore his ACL in week 8, so he wasn't really. It wasn't really that.
And what was
long
his
in
stat
the
like
league.
before that?
What was his what?
His stats.
What
was his stats like?
Oh, before the injury.
Yeah.
496 yards.
How many times has he targeted?
64, 47 receptions, and 3 touchdowns.
Okay, so that's not that bad.
And then he had 62 yards after catch.
Listen, the thing that pisses me off the most is, okay, so he's back in the AFC East. Is he here just for the money? Is he here for the money and the fact that he gets to play Josh Allen, his former quarterback, in the Buffalo Bills twice a year again?
I think it's a little bit of both. Money obviously talks. I mean, look at Myles Garrett, who said he was going to leave, and then he turns around and signs a 4-year deal. Money talks, and when you're talking about $69 million, yeah, I think you take the money.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I would.
And I know he was upset with Josh Allen when he was with the Bills, and I'm sure there's some sort of grudge there. So, but if I'm him, I don't go to the Patriots. No offense.
No offense.
I don't go to the.
I didn't even want him here.
I know, but I'm saying like, for him, like, he's been so close to winning a Super Bowl.
Go to the Ravens.
So close. I mean, that's where wide receivers go to die. But his best, I'd like to see him win a Super Bowl because he is a really good wide receiver.
Yes.
He was good in Minnesota. I'd say he was good in Buffalo. You
Oh
have other
yeah,
words.
absolutely. I think that he did a lot. He created a lot of separation in Buffalo, and when he went, it's just the off the field antics for me, dude.
Yep.
That
Oh, it
that's
is.
that's
That
what
I
separates it.
understand that. I get that. But and and just like what Myles Garrett said, he wants to win championships.
Yeah, you ain't winning no
Stefon,
championships in New England though.
no, you're not right now anyway, and not for at least the next 3 years, and that's what his deal's for. And
Yeah,
there's no way I don't think he plays after that. Or maybe he does, but for a lot less money. But um I think you would want to go to, like you said, the Ravens. I know we joke about that being the place where older wide receivers go to
right.
die, but they are Super Bowl contenders.
Could you
Maybe
imagine
you
that, dude? DeAndre
oh that
Hopkins on one side, Stephon Diggs on the other, Derrick Henry in the backfield, and Lamar Jackson.
that's a Madden team right there.
That's a yeah. Like you in the beginning of the Madden franchise, your fantasy draft, you got all those studs there, and then you still got Ronnie Stanley,
Yep.
right at the left tackle. Go. I just don't. Aside from the off the field antics, dude, because that really bothers me a lot. The reason, and I'll tell you this, dude. So the reason why I am so fucking fired up about this deal is the off the field antics. For one, New England is a rebuilding team. Okay, we have a quarterback who's coming into his second year, who only played, I would say, a quarter of the season. That's what
Yeah,
I was, and
something
he
like
showed,
that.
yeah, and he showed really good, like he showed poise in the pocket. Drake May is phenomenal. He is phenomenal, and I just don't think that this is the right move for New England, who's rebuilding, especially with the pick that we have. We have a chance to go and get somebody like Tedoror McMillan, Travis Hunter, who could play both sides of the ball, something like that. And yes, Tedoror McMillan or Travis Hunter could definitely pick the brain of Stefon Diggs, who, to Zach's point, who is a really good receiver. It's just the off the field antics, dude. I don't like that, and the fact that I'm unsure. I'm unsure about his stats. He's coming off of an ACL injury. We don't know how he's going to play then, and is that going to affect him a lot in New England?
From what I'm seeing, he is projected to play week 1.
Okay.
So you'd have to see how his training camp goes and preseason and whatnot. I'm sure he doesn't play preseason. If he does, it's only going to be a couple quarters.
Right.
Um, I'm kind of I'm on your side a little bit.
Can I just say one thing though? I if if he doesn't get the ball, right? Is he gonna be the same thing? I mean,
He's
and
going
I
to be a
don't say that as
crybaby bitch.
well, yeah. I mean, like I said, the off the field antics. But Stephon Diggs, to your point about him being a really good receiver, at the same time, he's also a really good competitor. And if he's not getting the ball in positions where he feels like he could succeed in, he's gonna make that known. And is that going to affect the mental health of Drake May, or I mean Sean what's his name McDaniels? He's a Super Bowl champion offensive coordinator. Mike Vrabel is a no nonsense guy. So with Stephon being a really good competitor, I'm just worried about all of that. So you got the ACL injury, you got the off the field antics, the fact that he's a really good competitor, and he's on a team that's rebuilding right now. I just don't. I agree with you. He should have went to the Ravens, dude. If you want to win a championship, go to a championship caliber team. First, you should have stayed with Houston. We'll start there.
Oh, he could have definitely stayed in Houston because I do see Houston as a playoff team. They were a playoff team
Yeah,
last year.
C.J. Stroud is a
Uh,
phenomenal quarterback.
He is, and maybe the Texans didn't want him anymore. It is what it is. But here's what I want to say about the Patriots pickup. I kind of like it. I know you have we've heard your opinion on this, and I agree with you.
Yeah,
His off the field antics are not good, but having a veteran receiver like that will help Drake May. It'll help him
it will.
more than I think it'll hurt him. As long as Stefon Diggs can keep his nose clean.
That's the thing, though.
Even though he only had 8 weeks with the Texans, right?
Yeah.
I want to say that helped C.J. Stroud having that
that.
veteran receiver there, having that veteran
Yeah.
receiver, and maybe he just doesn't. Maybe he won't play as big as of a role in New England, but he will be there as that. I don't want to say sure thing,
But as a
but
safety
he could
net,
be there.
right?
Yes, as a safety net. I like it. I like it for young QBs to have that veteran wide receiver.
It's must have.
Yes,
really
and
is.
I'll go back to the Dallas Cowboys
Yeah.
when Dak Prescott came in 2016. He had Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant was probably one of the best wide receivers in football at that time.
Very underrated too. No, make that
Very
note.
underrated. Very underrated. And he made it to the playoffs. I don't know if it was that year. It wouldn't have been that year, but it was the next year.
No, it was that year because you
was
and I were
that
sitting
year
at the
was-
green light. Remember?
Oh yeah, that was the year of the drop.
Yep.
So he did make it to the playoffs that year, and Dez Bryant had a lot to do with that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes, Dez was a little younger still. I mean, he was closer to 30, I think. But I believe having that veteran presence is a good thing for QBs.
I agree.
So that's where I differ on your aspect of things.
Absolutely, and I do see your point because, like I said, not only Drake can pick the brain of Stefon Diggs, but say we get Teteroy McMillan or Travis Hunter, they can also learn from Stefon Diggs. I get that, and I want that. I want the best for Drake May. I really do. I just like I said, I mean, even the off the field antics. That's all. That bothers me a lot. But the fact that he's a really good competitor, and we're not in a position to succeed at all, and I don't think that he's going to agree with some of the calls, and I think it's going to be an issue. And you know what, dude? I could be wrong. I really could be wrong about this, and they could have a blowout season. I mean, the Washington Commanders were not expected to go to the NFC Championship, but they did. And they picked what, number 1 or number 2 last year, right? Number 2?
Yeah.
And so from picking number 2 in the NFL draft to going to the NFC Championship, a cunt hair away from the Super Bowl. That also gives me hope. If we succeed, okay, I'll eat my words. But until then, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, and we're just going to have to, ride this one out, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We'll have to see how things progress. So on that note, we're going to end the NFL, and we only got a few more minutes. But I do want to bring up, because opening day was yesterday for the MLB. I just want to point out a few scores and just that it was a really good opening weekend. We'll point out the Yankees. They won. I mean, they beat the Brewers. That's kind of a gimme win. Baltimore, they blew out the Toronto Blue Jays.
By the way, Josh Allen was at that game yesterday.
Which one? The New York game?
No. The Toronto Blue Jays versus the Orioles.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was taking some hits. Wearing number 17 jersey. The guy's a slugger. But yeah, continue, please.
They blew out the Toronto Blue Jays 12-2.
Yep.
I didn't watch any of the games. I just watched some highlights, and then we got Philadelphia beat Washington 7-3. Boston beat the Texans 5-2. Pittsburgh Pirates, we lost. Thank God. We're gonna keep losing. Keep those tickets freaking cheap.
I love it.
Then I can go see him. But I did see that Paul Skeens had a really good opening weekend.
He really did.
He had a very good opening weekend. His future's so bright.
It is.
And
Do you see him sticking with Pittsburgh? I hope he does.
No, they'll keep him for his rookie contract like they do all their good players because they're a fucking farm team.
Yeah.
I truly believe the Pittsburgh Pirates are a farm team.
Yeah.
They get good players. they groom them, and then they ship them off.
Mm-hmm.
It's what always happens, and Pittsburgh Pirates fans can be mad at me all they want because I'm a Pirates fan. That's what they are. Don't ever have expectations for them to make it to the World Series anytime soon. Last year, they were doing really well, and then it fucking tanked.
Yeah.
And that usually what happens. They do good at the beginning of the season. Oh, there's some rumblings, playoffs, blah, 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 blah. And then, boom, into shitter.
Yeah.
So, if you're a Pirates fan,
sorry about your damn luck.
Yeah, but just keep hoping that they keep losing, and the tickets will stay, $30 to go see them in good seats.
Hey, let's go Bucks.
Exactly, let's go Bucks. But they lost 4-5 to Miami. San Diego beat Atlanta 7-4. The Mets lost to Houston 3-1. San Francisco beat Cincinnati 6-4. Cleveland beat Kansas City 7-4. Chicago White Sox, which was one of the worst MLB teams in baseball, they beat Los Angeles.
That's crazy.
Kind of a blowout there.
They're the champions.
Yeah, they didn't beat the Dodgers. They beat the Angels.
Oh,
but
okay,
the Angels,
I thought you were talking about
the
that.
Angels. No, I wasn't talking about the Dodgers. But the Angels, they're no slouch either. They got some good players on that team. But Chicago beat them 8-1. Then you got St. Louis. They beat Minnesota 5-3. Now we're going to talk about the Dodgers. They narrowly won. They beat Detroit 5-4. I don't know how Shohei did because I think that's the only player that anybody really cares about on the Dodgers besides.
Shohei hit a home run, a solo.
Did he?
Yep.
And Mookie's over there too, ain't he?
Yeah. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman.
Yeah. So that's just a fucking banger of a team, and they'll be
back in the World Series again.
Yeah, they'll be back in the World Series. I wouldn't doubt it if they don't win it again. But then you got Chicago. They kind of blew out Arizona.
10-6. That's crazy too.
10-6. Yep. And then the final game of opening day was Seattle beating the A's 4-2. So all in all, it was a really good opening weekend from what I understand, just from the stats and the highlights that I've seen. We'll reiterate again, Paul Skeens, a stud of a pitcher. I hope he stays with Pittsburgh, but I know it's not going to happen. And then, the Los Angeles Dodgers did Los Angeles Dodgers things. And I think we're going to keep seeing that for a long time.
Right, real quick though, as a Pirates fan, and Paul Skeens is a stud of a pitcher. There's talks of him winning the Cy Young Award. He's a favorite right now. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think he deserves it.
Oh, he definitely deserves it. He was rookie of the year last year, wasn't he?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Check that. You have to. I think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check that, but I'm pretty sure he definitely was rookie of the year. Let me find where our pitchers are. Paul Skeens. Why can't I find it? I found him, but it doesn't say what he won. I'd assume he won something last year. Paul Skeens.
Okay, 2023 season, Paul Skeens won the National Pitcher of the Year award and the Dick Howser Trophy.
Yeah, it wasn't Rookie of the Year, but he did. I knew he won something.
Yeah.
So I mean,
he was. No, you were right. You're right. Paul Skeens received the NL Rookie of the Year award.
Okay, all right. At least I'm not completely full of shit. But no, him winning the Cy Young Award would be awesome. Especially with this being so early in his career. And a part of me, like I said, wants him to stay with the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
And another part of me wants him to go on and have championship winning careers.
Absolutely. And
You know,
that's what makes you a real Pittsburgh Pirate fan, dude. Is you hope the best for these guys, and I can attest to that because Zach felt the same way about McCutcheon as well. When McCutcheon was going off in Pittsburgh, he said the same exact thing. And honestly, I do hope the best for Paul Skeens too. I really would like to, if he with him being with the Pirates, I hope the Pirates make some moves. And I know Zach and the rest of the Pittsburgh Pirate fans do not want that because of the ticket prices being so low. And Zach loves to go to those Pirate games.
I do. MLB games are wild. Like, I know a lot of people say like watching baseball on TV is boring, which it can be, but go to an actual game.
Absolutely.
It is completely different.
From MLB games, or even down to the minors. I live in Western New York. I've been to a few of them. Actually, to be honest, a quick story, bro. I used to work for the Jamestown Jammers. Now Zach, don't fucking roast me for this, man. I was the mascot.
You were the mascot.
Yes, sir. Bubba. His name was Bubba the Ape. He was a purple monkey. That motherfucking suit, bro, had me sweating like a motherfucker.
Oh, I know. I know how those mascot suits are. When I was in the fire department, I played I did the Dalmatian in parades and stuff a couple times.
Yeah. Now, did they give you an ice suit?
No.
Yeah, so after a while, like, they bought me this vest, and it had a bunch of, like, ice packs in it. You had to throw it in the freezer and stuff. Even with that, though, I was still sweating because eventually that shit would start to melt, and then all of a sudden my shirt would get wet, my pants would get wet. It was just a rough time. I had a blast doing it. I got to meet I got to meet Giancarlo Stanton from the Yankees. He plays for the Yankees now. Marcelo Zuna. And I thought I met a few more others, but those are just some of the two, especially Giancarlo Stanton, who plays for the Yankees. Go Yanks! But it was a fun time, dude. It was a fun time. But yeah, Zach is right. You definitely go to these games. I feel like when it comes to like sports, I feel that way about NASCAR. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like that stuff.
I'm not a big fan of NASCAR. I've heard the NASCAR races are fun to go to, but
yeah,
I just can't watch guys go in a fucking circle for
I've done it. I've
4 hours.
watched
Yeah.
it once at my local like dirt race car track, and even then, I mean, it was $5 to get in, but I can only watch guys turn left so many fucking times before I get bored, dude.
Oh, they're making another left turn.
And then another, and then another. Oh, here comes the checker flag.
The dirt track races are at least a little bit more entertaining, mostly because there's a lot more wrecks.
Yeah.
And they kind of get a little bit reckless. So that's the only thing I'd say about the dirt track races. But again, I still like there's tons of them around where I live, and people go to them every weekend, and I just can't. I can't.
The only
it's
thing,
just not my forte.
Yeah, me neither. The only thing that I do like when it comes to like motorsports and everything, when Zach had took me to my first mud bog, that was something different, dude.
Mud bogs are cool.
I really like that. But as far as like racing goes, no, I'm out.
Yeah, no, I'm out too. I'll have to get you down here so we can you and the wife to be and me and Krista, go to a Pirates game.
I'm down.
I always love going to them.
They play the Yankees this year, don't they?
They might. They very well might.
Even if they don't, I'd still be down. No, that's at the Yankees. Oh yeah, right here. Oh no, no, that was last year's schedule. Never mind. But either way,
tell you real quick.
I would love to go.
Let's see. If they play, yeah, they do. They play the Yankees. Actually, next week. Next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But they're in New York.
They don't come to Pittsburgh at all.
Let's see. I don't know if they play them again. The MLB schedule kind of fucks me up a little bit.
It does. It's like you get
There's
one
so
series,
many
and then a
games.
month later you get another series, and then a month later you get another series.
Yeah, there's so many fucking
Yeah, I
games.
think there's like 120. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Like the NBA
And I
too.
give it to a lot of these like sports. You know, the NBA, the MLB, the NHL. They play a lot of
A
games
lot of fucking games, dude.
in a
Like,
short amount of time too. You
yeah,
know, like the MLB season starts in March and it goes until September. You know, like, and then you got the playoffs on top of that.
right.
And those are what the regular season or regular
Seven.
playoffs are what 3? Well, the World Series is 7.
Yeah,
It's either I can't remember the playoff games if they're 3 or 5.
I think.
But
Yeah, I know you're right. I think they're 5. And then
yeah, and then the World
NBA, they're all
Series
7.
is 7. Yeah, so like it's a lot of fucking games. But so with that, I don't think we have anything else
Nah.
for this cast. So everybody listening, just remember the starters may get the glory, but the benchwarmers bring the fun. Tune in for another episode of the BenchWarmers Podcast and have a good night.
Peace.